Broken promises and their consequences. Now, in this video, a MAGA supporter is speaking out, frustrated after voting for lower grocery prices and better assistance, only to see benefits cut and the promises unmet. But the conversation doesn't stop there. Some people have reacted, and some are saying that the signs were clear, while others are questioning whether the real reasons behind the vote were ever truly about groceries or fewer prices. Now, we're going to unpack this and listen to different perspectives and reflect on the tough reality that many are now facing. Now, according to her, she voted for Trump expecting lower grocery prices, but what she got instead was a shock. Her food stamps, cash assistance, and other welfare benefits were taken away. Now, if you're new here, then don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notification bell so that you don't have to miss on any of our interesting videos. Don't forget to give our videos a thumbs up if you enjoy our content, and be part of the commenter squad by sharing your thoughts in the comment section down below. So with that said, let's take a look at these videos as different people react to her video. I will be right back.
I voted for him for lower grocery prices. He promised me cheaper prices on groceries. And that has not happened. Not only has that not happened, I am getting my food stamps taken. I am getting my cash assistance taken. I am getting my Section 8 taken. I am getting all my welfare governments taken. I did not ask for this. I would not have voted for him if I knew this was going to happen. So what do I do now? What do the people do now, the ones that regret their vote? What do we do? I can't go out and get a regular job. And it's not even about these families being separated from their loved ones. It's not about these 5 and 6 year olds getting their families taken away from them in the middle of a school day. It's not about any of that. It's about me and my food stamps and my cash assistance. Me. That I'm the only one that matters in this country. I'm taking my life back.
You know, I'm getting sick and tired of you MAGA on this app telling us that y'all voted for Donald Trump for lower grocery prices and gas prices, when we know in actuality, that's not what you voted for him for. You're just like him. You voted for him because he's a narcissist and he's a convicted felon. You voted for him because you're just like him. You have a bunch of hatred in your heart for others. And then you want to come on this app and complain and whine to us about you losing your benefits, when we've been telling y'all gullible, zero brain cells that don't happen. We explained to y'all in detail to y'all and read to y'all Project 2025, and y'all turn around and tell us, oh, Donald Trump said he ain't got nothing to do with Project 2025. When on day one, January 20th, he put Project 2025 in effect when he started signing orders. And then the day after election, the MAGA Republicans got on social media and told y'all they lied to y'all about Project 2025 because they wanted y'all. So I wish you MAGA stop coming on this app complaining to us about your problems and your issues that you having because you decided to vote against your own, your kids on you being homeless, your kids going hungry, and you going broke. We don't give a. And every time one of you MAGA don't hit with that, I'm going to stitch your video and tell you we don't give a. And you ask, what do I do now? I'll tell you. You can be this, your kids can go hungry, and you're going to be a broke. That's it, that's all.
Now, I done seen this girl several times. So, this gotta be a joke, right? Is this what y'all call, satire? Cause you know, y'all got me before with the nasty little girl that says she don't never wipe her butt. And I went off on the girl and everybody said, that's called satire. So this gotta be satire, right? She really can't be sitting up here talking about why she voted for him. And that everything was not supposed to affect her. Right? Wasn't supposed to affect her. But just about everything has affected her. Now what is she supposed to do? What's she supposed to do, boss? I don't know, sweetie. Because, I haven't checked a food stamp balance since 2011, maybe, if I'm lucky. I'm not bragging because, hey, I miss it. I haven't seen it, and I've had to struggle all this time, sweetie. So, even through the Democratic presidents that saved every time, and now your own one, your main orange man, ain't coming through, huh? Now you asking us what we supposed to do, or what you supposed to do? This gotta be satire. It has to be, because I done seen this broad for too long. And by the way, I'll never be self-conscious about my crooked teeth again, because they're white, and I have 2 rows of them, honey. So, I'll never fret about that again. But at any rate, this is satire, right? Come on, somebody tell me. This can't be real. If it is hilarious, and it is the highlight of my entire day. So thank you.
I don't blame you. Even though you voted for him, I don't blame you. I blame myself. Maybe not for your vote, but for my failure to convince people that Donald Trump was a liar, a demagogue, an autocrat. I constantly think about how I could have, for years, talked to people differently, such that they would listen. So, I don't blame you. You asked the question, what do we do now? Remember that one party didn't tell you what you wanted to hear. They told you what they could do, what they were willing to try to do, and they told you that they were on your side, and that party has a track record of trying to help people like you. They're not always successful. In fact, they're infrequently successful. I'm not going to go into the whys of that, but it is quite related. One party has always stood by the poor and the working class. Their relationship with the wealthy and the elite has existed, but it has always deferred to the working class and the poor, to whatever extent they were able to, given the power that the people granted them in government. What do I mean by that? I mean that the last time the Democrats had total control of the government, more so than even the Republicans do now, and by that I mean they had a 60-seat majority in the Senate, filibuster proof. The last time the Democrats had that, they passed Obamacare, also known as the Affordable Care Act. And the other party is now led by an autocrat, a demagogue, a liar, and all the things I said before. And that party has embraced that approach to the world, an approach to governing. The next few years are going to be tough. But just know, I, as are many others, are here to stand united with you against these forces in defense of this country.
So, I'll just say this. Thoughts and prayers, honey. Thoughts and prayers. You voted for him because he said he could lower grocery prices, failing to realize that the President of the United States cannot control, like, food prices or the price of petrol. Sorry. Gas. You know, used to put in your car if you have one. The President of the United States cannot control the prices that you pay at the store or at the pump. Literally. And the rest, does it suck that you and millions of Americans who did not vote for that are getting their social safety nets cut? Yes. But made it clear that that was his intent. And yet you still voted for him. So guess what, honey? Bless your heart, my thoughts and prayers, and what you're experiencing now is found, and now you're finding out. You're finding out that Trump doesn't give women. Trump don't give poor people. Trump class people. Trump doesn't give about 99% of Americans. Only people we give about is the 1% and the 0.5% of the 1%. AKA his buddies, his tech bros, his Wall Street bros, his, I'll use a conservative term, his New World Order bros. Okay, his globalist bros. He gives them. He gives about making them more rich, making himself rich by proxy, and he doesn't give you over, grandma over, veterans over, working class blue collar Americans over. He don't give a. As long as him and his 1% billionaire class ilk maximize their profits at your expense. So I'm sorry you're losing all your social safety nets, but that's for, girl, okay? That's what you voted for. That is it. You're pretending to be shocked? No, darling. No. Hell no. He did the same during his first term. He echoed even before he announced he was running for his second term. During the whole entire general election and the primary, he spouted his plan left and right. But he intended to put people in positions of power within the government to gut programs that farmers rely on, because agriculture is heavily, and I mean wholly, subsidized by the federal government. He made it very clear he's going to cut social safety nets for the most vulnerable of society because he sees it as government waste. And you're surprised in doing it and it's affecting you? Huh? Did you, like, skip, like, social studies class in school? Or, like, maybe you had a political science class or an economics class. Did you, like, skip those classes? Or did you, like, not do work? Were you just enticed by him because he hates the same people? I have zero sympathy for you. None. You're finding out. Best to you, I guess. You say you can't work. That may not be, trust me when I say this. Being unhoused or homeless sucks. I was homeless and housed for 5 fucking years plus. You don't want to do that, let alone you don't want to do that when you have kids dependent upon you. You say you can't work, so find some kind of work. Work from home type. In this modern era, you can always find some type of hustle to generate some form of income. Like, I personally am self-employed. I am also disabled and neurodiverse, but I'm also a trans non-binary queer. But nonetheless, I'm disabled, neurodiverse, and I can work. And I have kids too as well. And they're also neurospicy or neurodiverse and require a lot of care. But that's your only option, really, since all the social programs are going to be gutted. You're going to have to find some form of employment. And in this economy, you may have to find 2, 3, 4 side hustle jobs if you don't want to work a traditional, like, 9 to 5 gig. So, yeah, my thoughts and prayers, bless your heart, and good luck to you. Because right now, you're in the find out phase of doubt, and you did this to yourself. Your vote inflicted this misery not only upon you and your family, but every other middle class, poor, marginalized, and disenfranchised American in this country. So maybe the next time you vote for some politician D-bag, you do some more research other than listening to his goddamn stump speeches.
It's time to change the tide. Look, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to point fingers or say I told you so. But I am disappointed. Last fall, the warnings were there, the signs were flashing, and too many people brushed them off, thinking it wouldn't get this bad. But here we are, every grocery trip, every gas station stop, every bill that keeps creeping higher. You feel it. We all do. And while some people laugh it off or tell you, this is just how it is, we won't. We know this isn't normal, and we know it doesn't have to be this way. The good news? It's not too late. We can change this, we can stop the cycle, but only if we stop fighting each other and start fighting for something better. Because here's the truth. The people in power want us divided. They want us too busy blaming each other to hold them accountable. But we're stronger than that. So if you're frustrated, if you're fed up, if you're ready to stop just surviving and start fixing this, then stand with us. No judgment, no I told you so, just real change if we do it together.
All right, now let's talk about this. You know, lately we have seen a lot of MAGA supporters complaining, suddenly realizing that the promises they believed in aren't coming true. Lower grocery prices, still not happening. Relief on fuel cost, still out of reach. And now, on top of that, welfare programs, food stamps, and cash assistance are being slashed. But here's the thing. Did you guys see the warning signs? Or maybe you did, but you chose to ignore them. Now, a lot of people have tried to tell you that this was the reality you were voting for. As one speaker has already said it, you ignored those signs. Now, here you are asking what you can do. Well, the reality is not much because you already made your choice. You cast your vote, you followed the promises, and now you've got to dance to the tune, no matter how bad it gets. This is the outcome of turning a blind eye and pretending the consequences wouldn't catch up. You know, President Trump made grand promises to lower grocery prices, but those familiar with inflation knew it was an empty vow. Now, despite this, MAGA supporters bought into this lie, and now they're shocked to see fuel and grocery prices skyrocketing instead. Now, to make matters worse, Trump's policies are cutting vital benefits, leaving many without food stamps, cash assistance, or access to welfare programs. And it's really astonishing that Trump supporters are only now realizing the gravity of their decision now. During his campaign, Trump repeatedly claimed that he would reduce prices, but experts warned that his policies would have the opposite effect instead. In fact, retailers themselves predicted that Trump's tariffs would lead to higher prices, not lower ones. The consequences of Trump's actions are far-reaching and devastating. The most vulnerable members of society, including low-income families and individuals, are being stripped of their liveliness. And it's unconscionable that Trump supporters are only now acknowledging the harm caused by their vote. Now, after the elections, we all heard how Trump was backtracking on a major campaign promise, stating in recent interviews that he cannot guarantee that he will be able to drive down grocery prices after all. Trump, when he was asked by the publication whether he still believed that his policies would be able to lower costs for consumers, in response, Trump took a strikingly different tone than the one he had at various campaign rallies throughout 2024, saying that lowering costs would be difficult to accomplish. I would like to bring them down. It's hard to bring things down once they're up. You know, it's very hard, he said. Fast forward to 2025, we saw prominent Republican lawmakers and conservative think tanks proposing cuts and other harmful changes to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP. SNAP is America's most effective and important tool to fight hunger, reaching over 40 million children, parents, older adults, disabled people, workers, and other low-income people each month, or about 1 in 8 people in the U.S., including 1 in 5 children. Now, research shows SNAP reduces food insecurity and is linked to improve health, education, and economic outcomes, and to lower medical costs for participants. It also supports workers in low-paid jobs and has ripple effects in the economy overall and in individual communities as SNAP benefits are redeemed in stores across the U.S. Now, deep budget cuts to SNAP benefits are being proposed in the U.S. House of Representatives Budget Committee. SNAP is a main source of funding that provides food to families. I just think it is ridiculous. Say the grocery store shopper when she heard about the proposed cuts. Now, over 800,000 people in Tennessee rely on the SNAP program, and it provides critical benefits to these families to buy food, said Jen DeMorby, Eco Justice Works Legal Fellow with the Tennessee Justice Center. So if there are cuts to the program, that means DHS, the agency responsible for this program, is going to be extremely limited in how it can administer it. So that could mean less people are on the program. That could mean there are additional inefficiencies in how DHS runs the program. Nearly 1 million Tennessee householders are receiving SNAP benefits across the state's 95 counties. Recently, J.D. Vance finally admitted what Trump's big plan to lower food prices is. And according to him, he wants you to believe that Donald Trump will bring down grocery prices, even if he can't spell out the nitty-gritty of how it's going to be accomplished. Now, speaking with CBS's Margaret Brennan on Sunday, the vice president insisted that the price of food would come down, but couldn't muster up any details on exactly how or when that would happen. You campaigned on lowering prices for consumers. We've seen all these executive orders. Which one lowers prices? I must say that this was a very good question asked by Brennan. We have done a lot, Vance said, and there have been a number of executive orders that have caused already jobs to start coming back into our country. Is it jobs coming back or jobs being stripped away? Because I have been, maybe it's just me, but I think this is the opposite of what he's saying. And continues to say, which is a core part of lowering prices. More capital investment, more job creation in our economy is one of the things that's going to drive down prices for all consumers, but also raise wages so that people can afford to buy the things they need. So grocery prices aren't going to come down, Brennan interjected. No, Margaret, prices are going to come down, but it's going to take a little bit of time. This is what the vice president is saying. It's going to take a little bit of time, Vance continued, claiming that Trump has so far used the power of his office to accomplish more in 5 days than President Joe Biden did during his entire term. Now, J.D. Vance's claim that Trump has accomplished more in 5 days than Biden did in his entire term is just a reminder of the harm his executive orders are causing. In a short time, Trump has issued a flurry of orders that are risking people's lives and livelihoods. His actions on immigration, energy, and healthcare are already having devastating consequences, with many losing their jobs and facing uncertainty about their future. Let's break it down. Trump's executive orders on immigration are causing chaos, with thousands of lives disrupted by his decisions to end birthright citizenship, reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy, and cancel parole programs. His energy policies are rolling back progress on climate change, and his healthcare directives are putting vulnerable populations at risk. Moreover, Trump's pardons for January 6 rioters are a slap in the face to the rule of law and the democratic process. It's a clear message that violence and extremism will be rewarded rather than condemned, and these consequences of Trump's actions will be felt for years to come. You know, it's really sad to see that it's taken this long for some Trump supporters to realize their mistake. Many of us warned about the dangers of his policies and rhetoric, but our concerns fell on deaf ears. Now, as the consequences of his actions become painfully clear, you are now finally acknowledging your error. But unfortunately, it's still a little too late. The question of what can be done now is a valid one, but the truth is the opportunity to make a difference has already passed. You had a chance to listen, to learn, and to act, but instead you chose to ignore the warnings and support a divisive and harmful agenda. Now, all that's left is to face the consequences of that choice. It's a really hard pill to swallow, I know, but it's important to acknowledge the harm that's been done and to take responsibility for your actions. Perhaps the only thing that can be done now is to learn from this experience and work towards creating a better future for all. But for now, it's important to confront the reality of what's been done and to mourn the opportunities that have been lost. We have finally come to the end of the video, but what do you, our viewers, have to say? Share your thoughts, your views as well in the comment section. Thank you for always watching, and see you in our next video as we bring you another video.